On behalf of Indian Institute of Interior Designers and Akar InfoMedia proudly presents IDCS IIID Design Confluence and Showcase, India's premier design conference plus exhibition of architectural products and building materials. Now we are moving on to our last session, panel discussion. So before that, it's my privilege and honor to read the profile of Dr. Srinivas Daketi, Assistant Professor, School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. I want to hear a big applause before we start. Thank you. Dr. Srinivas Daketi is an esteemed Assistant Professor at the School of Planning and Architecture in Vijayawada. With over 25 years of experience in academia, research, and industry. As an architect planner, he holds a Bachelor of Architecture from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University and a Master of Planning specializing in housing from the School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. His doctorate, obtained from the School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada, focused on the impact of occupation on rural housing with a keen interest in culture, rural housing, vernacular architecture, and adaptive reuse. Dr. Daketi has actively contributed to numerous residential, commercial, retail, and interior projects. He also a co-author of 2 books and has published nearly 50 research papers, making him a recognized keynote speaker and recipient of Best Paper Awards. Let's clap him. Now I'd like to invite architect Suita Jala to escort Dr. Daketi. So now I request architect Priya Johnson, HOD, School of Architecture, KN University, Vijayawada, to come on the dais. Our next panelist, Ms. Samana Musavi, Director, Samana College of Design Studios, Vijayawada. Welcome, ma'am. And our final panelist, Architect Dr. Amitava Sarkar, Dean, Department of Architecture, School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. Give them a big applause. Now I request Dr. Srinivas Daketi to take over and introduce the panelists.
So good afternoon once again. So we are in the last session today. So before the valedictory program. So I'd like to introduce our panelists today. Ms. Samana Musavi, who is Director, Samana College of Design Studies, Vijayawada. And architect Smaran Malesh is a co-founder and principal architect at Cadence Architects with a distinguished background in architecture and interior design with more than 15 years of experience across various scales and typologies. She has led numerous successful projects and her expertise lies integrating the Cadence ethos into the design and delivery process, drawing from academic experience of teaching at schools at Bangalore. She is sought after speaker, regularly lecturing at design events such as Pecha Kacha and Void, both in India and internationally. She actively promotes design dialogue and deliberations, contribution to the global and local connect of Cadence, and fostering the studio's vision of Project 2 practice. So we welcome you, madam. So give her a... So I'd like to introduce architect Priya Johnson, head of the Department, School of Architecture, KL University, Vijayawada. Architect Priya is an experienced architect and educator specializing in resource management, vernacular architecture, sustainability and circular economy. With 12 years of teaching and 4 years of industry experience, she excels in subjects like architectural design, climatology, building construction and more. Architect Priya has published papers on flood risk management, solid waste strategies, and impact of deep learning on industrial management. And she has completed courses on energy conservation, AutoCAD, and sustainable cities, known for her holistic approach and dedication to sustainability. We welcome you and give her a good round of applause. And finally, my colleague, architect Dr. Amitav Sarkar, who is a dean and also Associate Professor from Department of Architecture, School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. He is a distinguished architect, planner, and academician with a PhD from Jadavpur University, Kolkata, and degrees in city planning and architecture from IIT Kharagpur and University of Madras. With over 20 years of experience, he has authored a book, contributed to book chapters, published 20 plus research papers in esteemed international and national journals. Currently, he is a Dean Faculty Welfare and Associate Professor at Department of Architecture, SPA Vijayawada, and his research focuses on climate responsive architecture, energy efficient design, building energy modeling, thermal comfort, sustainable planning and housing. He is registered member of COA and holds associate memberships with IAA, IITP, etc. And has successfully completed consultancy projects including solar passive architecture worth almost 1.5 crores. We welcome you, Dr. Amitav. So today's session is on design education. So we have three people, eminent people who are with us. So we'll have a half an hour discussion with a few questions from our side and also a few questions from the students. So can I have a hand mic? Yeah, it's So I'll start with Ms. Samana. So so we know you. So everyone knows you here. So how can the first question is how can interior design education adapt to the changing needs of the industry and the evolving expectations of the clients and end users?
Hello everybody, good afternoon Andy. Good question Srinivas, because like you know I have been in this academic since last 2009. Of late in 2013 I started interior design course. What I have seen changes in the students is like earlier our syllabus was not more into like you know softwares. It was only more of drafting, practicality, submissions and all. Of late, the companies and the clients are demanding software, and software is more evolved in interior design. I don't think that is going to build any future of an interior design student, because for me, more than software, the student should be more practical. They should be known more about how the vendors work, what the material cost is, how it is in process of working and all. Then market study. That is how you teach the student in the class, then the student should be in the market. And from the market, again, they have to come and do their products. That is how it should go. But now because of so much of involvement of software, the system is being totally changed. If a client is asking, we need a kitchen design, the student is simply sitting on the chair and searching Google. What are the changes of what is update and all. I don't think this system will go a long way. I think you as an Indian Interior Institute of Design, you have to bring a lot of change, more into practicality than going on softwares. That is my opinion, because whenever I see the exams and submissions of the students, I see like, you know, it is cut and paste copy product submission of the student, be it any paperwork, be it any product design. You give any design, that is just a cut and paste kind of a thing. But a design is something related to the mind which has to come within. There isn't creativity of a student. That creativity should come on the roles like. More than that, what is happening is cut and paste is coming on the map, which is not good. See, anybody can do this design course. That is what it has happened, and that has become one of the commonest course in India now. Not only India, but in across the global. But a designer has his own charm. own mind, own ground, what it is of its mind. More than that, the market has been evolving around software, which I think it is not going to help most of the students to start as an entrepreneurs. They might be working from 9 to 5, whatever it is, but to start as an entrepreneur again, they will fall back. That is my opinion. Probably, I think we all should stand up and change the curriculum.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I mean, this is a big challenge for all the students and all the architects and the profession, because what is happening nowadays is like because of the advancement in technology, etc. So you have the huge availability of data. So as the ma'am was telling, like, so cut paste, so you are given a target, you don't give thought process into it. You just start browsing, trying to get images for reference, and even the clients have become like that nowadays.
Yeah.
So they start, they bring us, they don't give us they don't give us chance to design. They tell that I have seen this here, and they try to.
Yes, it was true. Client is getting everything on their doorstep.
Yeah.
So they see the difference between only just what is the package end of the day.
Exactly.
Not who the designer is, what the brand is. The client is always, everything is available for them on their doorstep.
Yeah.
So the demand of designer has fallen down drastically.
So I think this challenge could be addressed by showcasing ourselves as a what best we can do from our side. So if you can give a best product, obviously people will come to us. So design whatever maybe the advancement in science and technologies, the creative ideas are always from the architect or the interior designer or the designers. So I think that is one aspect which we should always think of. And so any suggestions from you on this, where, or else we go to the next question. Okay. So one more question to architect Priya Johnson. So what efforts are being made to bridge the gap between academia and industry to provide students with practical exposure and real-world experiences?
Thank you, sir. That was a good question. Good afternoon, everyone. This is one of the challenges that every architecture institution faces, like to bridge the gap between the academia and industry. So basically, every institution focuses like bringing expertise from industry, like conducting a workshop or a seminar or a guest lecture, trying to bring in an expertise person from different fields and sharing a knowledge to the students. This happens, but how much a student grabs the knowledge becomes a question. And in nowadays, even there's what we follow is we do market survey, they do go for a case study, they study a building. So everything does happen in all institutions. But where a student understands what is the industry does, because whatever project the students are taking up are non-real projects. They are not live projects, and what the industry does is a live projects or a real projects. So definitely there is a huge gap between these non-real projects and the real projects. So what my point of view is, a student should be allowed inside the, within the curriculum, within the semester, a student should be allowed to do one kind of a project so that they will be able to apply whatever they could study. So that was one thing, like a very small example what we do in our institution is, we made out of 2 designs, 1 design we gave, we took a very small building which it's an government building, it's a kind of a Anganwadi. very limited students were coming there. So we took that building. It was very not at a very good condition with all site also. It's like full of debris and dirt. So we gave a task to students. Now how we try to implement that to the curriculum is first they have to measure the building so that they could get marks in measure drawing or documentation, which we were connected to the architectural drawing. The second thing is they have to give designs, what can be, how can be renovated. So there we mapped it to the design course. So they could get marks through the designs and in the curriculum. And the third thing is execution. So we gave them a challenge of not procuring many things, like very limited things to be procured, but the challenge was to use the scrap materials and reuse it and develop the project. So they could find the scrap from our institution itself, and it was converted into a very beautiful output came out. So many students in the nearby community, they immediately were willing to get in and study. So during this process, a student was able to utilize every bit of space. For example, if there was a window, the window was turned into an abacus. So the practicality of every space being utilized, or how a thought process of how to make a space was being involved in it. So for this execution of making from the scrap tires, they made nice landscape elements, so which we added marks to model making. So every component that the student was doing, we have mapped it to our curriculum or the course, and we have credited them with marks. So these kind of activities will definitely help them understand how what is being learned can be implemented. Like they have done their own painting, so the small construction work. So everything they could do a small hands-on, so that they were able to understand. And again, even though they are doing the project, it is we, the faculty, are guiding. It's not the industry architects who are the guiding. So my suggestion was, like, if they could also go for a summer internship, a 2 months internship. So that would also, because an external architect who is working in the industry will be able to guide a student. So from second year to the final year, we have made it mandatory for a student to go for a summer internship, so that they could gain, and the connect is made from the beginning, so that there is an advantage for the student to learn. And most welcoming is these kind of platforms make a huge impact, sir, because many updated materials, architects, they come together, they share their knowledge. So this is one of the very good platform where students can learn a lot and connect to bridge the gap between the academia and the industry.
So I think this is not a big challenge, but it is an opportunity for the students also, where because like Samana Institute, where people start coming out for training and all. So that's one where academics and industry. So here the most important aspect is even the architects and interior designers or the design fraternity, they should always be interested in taking the trainees because so that is a learning process. And even for the students, I'll tell you my story actually. When I was in second year, so I have done my bachelor's from JNTU Hyderabad, and I'm basically from Vijayawada. I had 2 months of vacation. So I've come to Vijayawada, that's almost, I remember it's in third year initially. So I was thinking what to do. So I knew C.S. Prakash, the architect, senior most architect from Vijayawada. So I thought, why don't I go and check in his office whether I could do something in this 2 months. So I landed up in an office, and he was kind enough to give me some job. Okay, you come and join. So for 1.5 months, so 15 days I have to enjoy. So 1.5 months, I've worked with him. So that was in third year initial. So I thought that was a fantastic experience. So you learn a lot in the industry when compared to what you learn in the college. I don't deny that we don't teach anything, but so you have a lot of things to learn. And the second thing is when I visit in the vacation again, I used to go to Venugopal sir's office, so see what is happening in his office. I didn't work actually, but I visited your office when I was a student. So it was like, and Swami sir's office, etc. So most of the students, it's like when you have a chance, when you get a chance to work, to explore, whenever you are free, you please try to explore. That's one suggestion. And the second thing is, another example is, I stayed back in hostel for a week in the vacation. Imagine there were a lot of work with the architects in Hyderabad when we were working. So we had architects coming to our hostel and giving work. So they used to give us, so we used to work on freelance, etc. So I remember we have done a tank bund entry drawing, sketches and all were done by us. And that was the first time in third year where I've received an amount of 8,000 rupees and 3 of us have worked for it. So it was like all this becomes a great learning process for us. So it's like we have to encourage ourselves to be part of this system. You learn a lot from your seniors, you learn a lot from the practicing architects, etc. And now the question to Dr. Amitav. So because we are right now talking about design education, so what are the opportunities for international exchange programs or collaborations in design education, and how can they enhance students' global perspectives? Because now the world is globalized and we are in connect with the world very easily, like because of this advancement in science, technology, internet, etc., and AI in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Srinivaji. Good afternoon to all. It's a very pertinent question and as a point also. Now you see, we, as far as SPA Vijayawada is concerned, we have also established signed various MOUs with various foreign universities, even Indian universities also, to encourage the students and to fulfill this student exchange program. Now, student exchange program, what it does actually, already my esteemed colleagues have explained that in the previous question what you have mentioned. So this is again a sort of continuation to that. One is we have to establish partnership, more cooperation between industry and the academia. That has already been discussed. And one way of achieving it is through this exchange program also. Because 5 years, because BArch is a 5-year course. So when students are here, they are facing the students all throughout. So they seeing the teachers again first year, second year, third year, fourth year. It's a sort of human tendency comes. Sometimes whatever we say for their good benefit only, but sometimes when they hear it from the outside, so automatically the impact will be more beneficial to the students. So through this exchange program, when students go outside, they go to new environment, suppose. So the policy level, we are taking decisions at what level exchange program should happen. First year, second year, when they are coming, they are growing their basics, they are learning various courses. Now when they go to other institutes, especially international exchange program, when they go outside, so they are also here we follow one type of pedagogical process, methods. And if we look at our system of teaching, mostly teaching learning process, that is still like a guru shishya kind of, although we are trying to promote a two-way communication. That is the now present day what has been followed in most of the universities all over the world. Now, earlier days when we were being taught, as we still, that is also relevant in a sense that Guru Shishya Parampara, what was there. So always it was teachers telling something, and we used to, what is the advantage, importance is that we used to blindly follow them. We make them role model. Already you have heard so many eminent architects here. And if we further go back, Doshiji, Charles Correa, and many other people. So you can see that they have created that way. Now, when we go outside, what the feedback we are getting from the students are that one is that they are going to new systems from there for one semester. So we are also looking at for how many duration, suppose for one semester, which will be meaningful. Another good thing is that in the National Education Policy 20, which has brought out that policy document now already in the public domain, and if we go through that policy also, you will say that they are also encouraging this exchange program. They have conducted enormous survey with all stakeholders. The main stakeholders here in all this process is the students. So whole of the national education policy now it is focused on how the education will be more meaningful for the students, outcome, the learning. So in that regard, through this exchange program is one of the important criteria. So when students go outside, they get a different viewpoint, and mostly probably, and same in the line of the previous thing, that industry institute, in many of the universities, they made many of the practicing architects or industry experts as adjunct faculty. Here also at SP Vijayawada also, we are in a way, we have conducted last few years, we have conducted vertical design studio at various, so there we have invited not only for the jury of course, but also in the intermediate level also. Architects from the, architects like Charanjit Shahji, you have heard, like many of the persons already like that. So they are coming from the industry, they are directly, students are, they are giving them a design problem or some sort of issue, real issue, already madam has also mentioned, so like that. So through this exchange program, probably students' knowledge will also increase, and when they will come back, we'll also get feedback, and our universities will also get equipped. We have students visiting from Melbourne and many other parts as far as SP Vijayawada is concerned. And so just I would add there, so what we are thinking, like when our students are going there and learning, bringing their experiences over here, even when we have received, we have a joint studio, students coming from like University of Melbourne, Australia, Lily and many places, they came and appreciated even our way of teaching learning process also. So that shows that it's a mutually responsive. Sometimes what we think that everything what is in the happening outside. So we should not, what I meant to say is that whatever our traditional system and all those things, traditional knowledge system, we should continue follow that. The basics will be always important. How much software you learn, how much tools you learn, but the basics, that is where especially Indian students are one of the sought after in the global institutes as well.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Amitav. I think I would like to hear from Ms. Samana ji, like about the collaborations which you have from your institute.
Yes, 2017 we have been collaborated with for this study exchange program internationally with one of the world's best institute called NABA from Italy, Milan. So we started our study exchange program, and students started going from small town places like Godavalli and Chilkalpudi. These area students were being my students to learn this interior design course. But the parents put all the efforts to send the students for study exchange program, which was more expensive than the regular fee. But then they wanted these two children to get that exposure. So they were being there, that the curriculum syllabus of 6-month certificate course was designed for 40 days because it was an expensive place where the student can't afford to for the accommodation, food and all. We designed our syllabus in study exchange program of a certificate course from morning 8 to evening 7. And then also the weekend was not being kept on waste, because Saturday, Sunday also they had a market survey and all. Out of this study exchange program, the end result, what we were seeing was, I was really happy. I was also there for that study exchange program. The practicality of our students was much higher than the students abroad who were being there, like, from Palestinian, Nigerian, South Africans, Europeans, Egyptians. Most of the students were there for that study exchange program. But the presentation of our student was really extremely good. They were really happy. The lacking was only the communication from our end, because the students were not confident to speak about what they work, because our education system is being screwed down from last 2 decades. After 10th, intermediate, Narayana, Chaitanya, Nalanda, Bhashyam. They forget their language, they are being just ratifying maths and science, they hardly know to read and write and communicate. And after that, BTech, and hardly the students don't excel for BTech, they come, unfortunately, they come for design education, because that's how the mindset of the parent is. 10th, after 10th, MSET, BTech. That is how it has been designed. But to break the ice, what we did, we also made our efforts to get a study exchange program from the University of NABA from Milan. And that is how it was a drastic change among the students also. After that, we added validation program from NABA. The faculty used to come all the way from NABA University, design heads. They used to evaluate and validate our students, and they used to give the marks to the students who are excelling in their submissions. I think had it not been COVID, things would have been definitely in a different way by now. This year, again in November, a student of 82 students are going from our institute to study exchange program for NABA.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear from you, ma'am, and that's a great initiative where you...
My appeal to the students, young generation is, I know you all are hard workers, you all are with a great creative mind, but you should be more confident in communicating, because that is the only weapon to excel in international platform. Your product speaks next, you should be in front part to speak and present your product. That is how I got an experience. And we started taking special communication classes to our students after first study exchange program.
So there's a big takeaway from today's discussion for all the students actually, because I would rather say that there are a lot of people who do very good designs. They're very good at their design. But the problem is, how do they communicate? I've seen this practically with a lot of architects, where they are excellent in their design skills, they are excellent in their projects, but the main problem is the communication. So you have to simultaneously develop, improve your communication skills, which becomes a very important part in your life. I'll tell you, and this is not difficult actually. If you can aim at it, you can achieve. This is not at all difficult, because I'll tell you one small example. I'm very good at telling stories in my classes and studios. But I think the SPA students were smiling at me. So the one example which I wanted to quote, very short story. So when I was doing my master's actually, so I have a neighboring, there are two students. One is from China actually. He's doing his master's in landscape. And Chinese are very bad at English actually. Now they are better, but they're very bad at English and they cannot understand. And he used to take, now at that time we didn't have all the cell phones and all, he used to take a small tape recorder, a mini tape recorder to the class. He used to record the complete class, whatever happens. He used to take that back to the hostel. Then he used to switch it on again, take a Chinese-English dictionary, convert everything into it, and he used to learn, understand the class. Look at the dedication. One Chinese student who has come all the way to learn landscape in one of the prestigious institute of India in SPA Delhi, and he has done this and he was successful and he could do that. And another example is there's one person from Warangal actually. And we had a first presentation in our PG. So he was presenting and he could find there was a lot of difficulty in his presentation. So he could figure out that he could work, but he's very bad at his presentation. It is not about presentation, about his English skills. So we did not see him for the complete evening. We were worried what happened. He didn't give his jury properly. You know how juries happen, all the students. So what he did, he went back to the market. He bought Rapidix English, then all books. Then the only room which we used to get a newspaper, Hindu newspaper, was his room in the hostel in SPA Delhi. So he worked very hard for next couple of semesters, reading books, understanding what to happen, how to communicate, etc. And after 4 semesters, the presentation he has given in his final jury was amazing. And he was talking continuously and he didn't give a chance to the faculty to interrupt. He has started talking that continuously, and that was his zeal. Imagine 4 semesters of hard work, and at that age of masters, who could learn, and everyone of us can do that. So this is a big takeaway for us. Please try to communicate, because you have your skill, and another skill which becomes important is your communication. So I think, Saitya, how much time do we have? So one more question. We'll go with 2 more questions so that people are hungry. We have started late. So, Priya Johnson, in what ways can design education address the increasing demand for sustainable and environmentally conscious design practices?
When we talk about sustainable design practices, we study in our courses like energy efficient architecture, or how to use the vernacular materials in our current trends, and all these things we do study. But the main goals which we focus at the moment is the sustainable development goals. We work towards the goals, these goals. So that is a main target, I should say. So while walking towards this sustainable development goals, like how just by learning or designing a building with a kind of energy efficient or bringing a climate responsive architecture inside a building and doing is a part of, like as an architect, we are part of it. So that is it should be there. But my concerns, or as a future generation, what I suggest you guys are like more of a innovative practices and innovations have to come up. To build in these innovations to beat the sustainable development goals or whatever, it is not, I should not say it is not, but it will be very difficult we alone to do it. There should be a sort of like engineers, architects, and other different streams to merge together to come into an innovation. A simple example is if we take a building, just a building, to construct a building, we need architects to design, we need contractors or the builders to build them, we need electrical engineer, we need a mechanical engineer, we need a civil engineer. There are a lot of people involved just to build up a building. So just to, for a kind of innovation, like what Sir said, the practices or whatever has to come, like ma'am also mentioned that a collaborative thing has to come. So there's a very important need for architects, engineers, like they can mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, for small, like we have a kinetic facades. It sounds like an architectural element, but it's a mechanical element. There is a lot lot of scope in architecture for innovation, but we should collaborate ourselves with engineering, like BTechs or the other streams of engineering. So only then there will be a lot of innovative outcomes. So that I truly and strongly believe that, and a future generation have to really seriously look through these angles to bring in a sustainable society or a sustainable built environment.
So, due to lack of time, last question to, again, Samanaji, because there's a lot of passion towards interiors, fashion technology, and I know you're the one who are running the institute for a long time. So, we want to hear in short about your institute and what you're doing, etc. And so, because fashion technology is always seems to be a very interesting profession, and there is a myth where people always feel that if someone have to pursue fashion technology, they should be rich enough, survival would be difficult. So I'd like to hear from you as a last question.
Yes, Srinivas. We started our institute in 2009. Until now, more than 6,000 alumni has been passed out from our institute. Of late, from 2014, what I could notice is, earlier there was a myth like it is in rich man's education, but no. Of late, from 2015, students became very smart enough. So we started first year curriculum for kids wear, then we were promoting kids wear. So the children who were been into first semester and second semester for kids wear started grabbing the parents and started doing their own label and entrepreneurship program, selling out their own garments to the parents. And obviously, if I'm a parent, I have a small little girl, nothing matters for me more than my children. My kid looks beautiful, right? That's how the students got into the market. Of late now, the fashion designing course has become a course of an entrepreneur's course. It is never again a 9-to-5 employment course, because from the first year, there is a huge possibility for a student to start their own labels, because you don't need a boutique now to start, you don't need a studio now to start. Online business is grabbing entire world market. So from first year, students are on their own. They pay their own fee for the second year, third year, and now fourth year also. So fashion designing, because you might be knowing India's top designers. A lehenga of Manish Malhotra is costing 10 lakhs. A similar lehenga, Anushri Reddy, who's a second B grade designer, is selling for 2.5 lakhs. And a student of my college is selling for 1 lakh. So 10 lakhs lehenga will be in the market by within 24 hours. The student will be sitting and grabbing that whole model. What is the fabric used? What is the design? What is the color? And the vendor is already available at the doorstep. So the lehenga of 10 lakhs is available for 1 lakh. Who the hell will spend 10 lakhs for a lehenga for one-time wear for a wedding? So you are wearing Manish Malhotra's label in 1 lakh. That is a huge market. So there is a rich market for the student. So now the student is no more an employee, 9-to-5 employee in fashion designing. They're all turning out to be entrepreneurs. And the government is also supporting with the startup loans. That's a big achievement also. That's how the students, after COVID, friends, I could notice like 80% of the admission in 2022 were housewives who came to learn the course. For them, I made it possible 3 years course in 1 year to train them, and all the housewives are doing their own businesses right from Gollapudi to Uyur. The huge market is available at doorsteps right from Gollapudi. You can see the chain of 120 students from my institutes sitting and doing at their home. So paying a 1-year fee for 3 years degree. So that is how the fashion is been evolving. You name fashion designing, but for me it is an entrepreneur's course. It's not an employment course anymore.
That's wonderful, ma'am. That's wonderful to hear from you. And I thank the panel members. I'm very sorry that we have very less time and we could not discuss many things. And we are open for discussion any point of time, because we'll be in the conference hall. And all the students the one advice is hard work always pays. Believe in that, and you can always reach to heights. That's the only suggestion which we can give. Hard work always pays, and hard work always pays. That's all. Keep that in mind, and you'll reach to whatever heights you want to. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinivas, for giving us an opportunity.
So please be seated. So that was all the guests on the stage. So now it's time for the felicitation. Here I'd like to invite to the dais M. Subramanyeshwar Rao Garu, Principal, Vaishnavi School of College Architecture, to felicitate Priya Johnson, HOD, School of Architecture, Vijayawada. Welcome, sir. Architect Sheetal Kumar Agarwal to felicitate Ms. Samana Musavi, Director, Samana College of Design Studies, Vijayawada. Thank you. To come on the dais, interior designer Hasmukh Shah to felicitate Dr. Amitava Sarkar, Dean, Department of Architecture, School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. You, sir. Now I request Architect S. Rajeshwar Rao Garu to felicitate our moderator, Dr. Srinivas Doketi, Assistant Professor, School of Planning and Architecture. Thank you so much. Give them a big applause. So we are going to end. We ended with the final discussion. That was panel discussion on design, education, and new direction. Post lunch, we are going to move on to a validatory session. In that, we're going to have stall awards and also student certificates. So please do not miss it. Now you all can proceed for the lunch. And we'll see you soon after 1 hour.